everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for tuning in. We're going to do another track-by-track album battle, this time featuring two later Aerosmith albums, the two 90s releases, Get a Grip and Nine Lives. We did my favorite two, Toys in the Attic versus Rocks, last time. This time we're going to do two of my lesser favorite, but felt like going to the opposite end of the catalog and doing these two albums. Though these are not my favorite Aerosmith albums by any means, I do think each album has its moments that I really enjoy. So we're going to do the track-by-track album battle and see which one comes out on top. Personally, I'd probably say I like this album a little bit better than Nine Lives. It's got more songs on it that I like, but I also think it has more songs on it that I dislike. So I think it'll be interesting to see which one can kind of come out on top there. And of course, this one does have one more track than this, but we're going to count Intro and Eat the Rich as one song, so that will make it an even 13 apiece. So, starting off with Eat the Rich versus Nine Lives. This one to me is easy. Eat the Rich. One of my favorite songs, not only of this era of the band, but of the band's catalog, actually, is Eat the Rich. And the lyrics are actually quite hilarious and feature probably my favorite Steven Tyler lyric of all time, which is, there's one good thing that happens when they toss their pearls to swine, their attitudes may taste like shit and it goes real good with wine. That is brilliant, Steven. That is great. So I gotta go with Eat the Rich on that one. Number two, we got Get a Grip versus Falling in Love is So Hard on the Knees. I've actually never been a big fan of Falling in Love is So Hard on the Knees. It's another one of those kind of semi-humorous, tongue-in-cheek type song titles, at least. I don't know, I never got into that one as much. On the other hand, I don't think a lot of people really care for Get a Grip, but I love Get a Grip. That chorus, there's just something about that chorus that I can just really jam to. And the chorus of the song does like almost all the heavy lifting, because the song is basically just the chorus over and over again. The verses aren't really a whole lot to speak of, but I don't know. There's something about Get a Grip that I've always dug, so I gotta go with Get a Grip on this one. Next up, we have Fever versus Hole in My Soul. And this may be one of the few times on this battle that I absolutely love both songs. Fever is just a really great upbeat rock song. Hole in My Soul is one of my favorite Aerosmith ballads, especially of this era. I will take Hole in My Soul over Angel, over What It Takes. I will take it over all the popular ballads from this one. I'll take it over Pink. Certainly take it over I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. And Steven Tyler's voice, I mean, it's incredible in this, but Steven Tyler's vocal on Hole in My Soul is just on another planet. His voice is just out of this world good. I gotta give that one to Hole in My Soul. That's tough though, because I do love Fever, but I'm gonna give that one to Nine Lives. Next up, we have Living on the Edge versus Taste of India. Taste of India has never done anything for me, but I do like Living on the Edge quite a bit, so that's another one for Get a Grip. Alright, next up we have Flesh versus Full Circle. Flesh to me has always just been a filler track. Full Circle is one of the most overlooked songs in the band's catalog, especially from this era. I think it's one of the best songs, probably except for Hole in My Soul. It's probably my next favorite song on this album. But I think it's a great song that just never seems to get talked about and never seems to get looked at. But Full Circle, definitely take that one over Flesh. Alright, next up we have Walk On Down with Joe Perry on lead vocals versus Something's Gotta Give. Again, Walk On Down, it's okay, I guess. Something's Gotta Give is also okay. I think if Something's Gotta Give had a stronger chorus, I might like the song better. There's definitely something there that I kind of like, but just doesn't quite hit the mark for me. Walk On Down is sort of forgettable to me, so I think I'm going to give that one to Nine Lives. I'll go with Something's Gotta Give. Alright, next we have Shut Up and Dance versus Ain't That a Bitch. I think a lot of people like Ain't That a Bitch more than I do. It's okay, it's just not really one that ever did much for me. Shut Up and Dance, again, that's another one that doesn't do a whole lot for me, but between the two, I think I probably prefer Shut Up and Dance, so I'm going to give that one to Get a Grip. Shut Up and Dance. Next we have Crying versus The Farm. Um, the Farm's another one that doesn't do much for me, but just the simple fact that it's not crying, I'll take The Farm. I can't stomach crying anymore. I've heard that song enough times. Enough times. I'm over crying, so I'll take The Farm on that one. Gotta Love It versus Crash. I tell you, this one's like polar opposite. I can't stand Gotta Love It. I never did. I never liked that one at all. Crash, I think, is super fun and one of my favorite tracks on Nine Lives. I've taken Crash. Most definitely taken Crash on that one. Alright, so next we have Crazy versus Kiss Your Past Goodbye. Kiss Your Past Goodbye. Crazy might not drive me quite as insane as Crying, but I don't like that one either. And my dad used to love the ballads on this one, and he would play them over and over, and it used to drive me nuts. And it still drives me nuts because you hear them on the radio all the time, and I never cared for them. Crying's my least favorite of the three, but I don't care for Crazy either, so that one's definitely going to Nine Lives. Oh man. We have Lineup versus Pink. I've never liked Lineup. I could never get into that one. The second half of this album I just don't like. But it's not Pink. I can't stand Pink. I'll take Lineup. Somehow I'll take Lineup there. Amazing versus Attitude Adjustment. Now, as much as I have been trashing these ballads, I actually don't mind Amazing. I don't love it, but I don't mind it. Of the three, it's definitely the one I can stomach the most, and I even don't mind listening to it every once in a while, but it's never a song you're going to catch me listening to on repeat or anything like that. But if it comes on every now and then and I haven't heard it in a while, I'll listen to it. Versus Attitude Adjustment. Attitude Adjustment to me is one of the forgettable tracks on here, so I'm actually going to give that one to Amazing, believe it or not. I'll take Amazing. Then we have Boogeyman versus Fallen Angels. I love Aerosmith, but they don't have many instrumental tracks, but I don't think that they've really ever done an instrumental track that well. Boogeyman, the movie from Permanent Vacation, which I think is probably a little better than Boogeyman, just don't do much for me. So Fallen Angels is pretty cool. It's not one that jumps off the record at me by any means, but I think there's more to Fallen Angels that I would get into than Boogeyman, so I'm going to give that one to Fallen Angels. So let's tally this up quick. Get a Grip has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Nine Lives has 1, 2. Well, if I tallied this up correctly, I think Nine Lives actually wins this 7-6. So, despite the fact that there's more that I like on here, Nine Lives winds up winning because there's also less that I like, or songs I dislike more on here. So, Nine Lives wins the battle. Let me know in the comments below how you would battle these two albums out. If you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this in the future, and I will catch you next time.